Warm greetings of the day, students. I, Sucharu Sharma, on behalf of Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Hotel Management, welcome you to another session of Advanced Bakery and Patisserie. This is our menu 10 for today, and in today's menu, we are going to do a bread which is clover leaf rolls, and in the desserts we are going to do Séverin de fruits. So, what are we going to learn today? Let me show you. We will be emphasizing on the kneading process of the doughs. We will be emphasizing on how to shape our rolls. We will be emphasizing on the proving. How do we prove our bread properly, which you of course must be knowing being in the semester 5th. We also would be emphasizing on the different aspects of baking of both the products of Séverin as well as clover leaf. And ultimately, I will be showing you how to plate your dessert. So students, we will be starting with clover leaf rolls first in the bread section. Clover leaf rolls, as the name suggests, it's resembling the pods of the clover leaf, okay? And it's of American origin. So we have 3 different lobes of clover leaf. This is what it resembles like. As you can have a look at the screen also, the shape of the clover leaf bread, okay? The ingredients for the clover leaf rolls are the same as such of any soft roll recipe. So let's have a look at the ingredients. As refined flour, water, some bread improver. In the fat, we'll be using refined oil, some sugar, some salt, yeast, and obviously some milk powder, okay? So I'll be mixing all the ingredients together, and thereafter I will be kneading the dough. So here goes my refined flour. And all the dry ingredients along with I will be putting together. Milk powder. Milk powder will make it more soft and supple, okay? And keep it soft for the longer time. Sugar. The amount of sugar in soft roll recipe is a little more than the normal dough to enhance softness. I have it yeast together. Again, salt I will be putting away from my yeast. Some bread improver and gluten powder mixed to enhance the gluten structure. So these are my dry ingredients all mixed together, okay? Before adding water, what I'll do is I'll mix in the dry ingredients all together amongst themselves. Okay? Now I'll add water all at once. Now I'll start mixing my ingredients, the wet and the dry ingredients together. I have everything in the container. First at the low speed and then at the higher speed. We'll start kneading the dough at the low speed first. So the ingredients are coming together with the water, okay? And firstly it will absorb the water, the dry ingredients will absorb the water, and afterwards it will all come together and start forming the dough. As you can have a look in the container. Now, as you can see, all the ingredients have come together. It's been 3 to 4 minutes time at the low speed, and now I'll turn on the speed to the higher mode for the more development of gluten. Now it will run at the higher speed. Now the real gluten development will start taking place. Now as you can all see, it's been almost 5 minutes we are running the machine at low speed. The ingredients have all come together. Now I'll be turning on the speed to the higher level for more effective gluten development. Another 7 to 8 minutes at high speed for more effective gluten development. After checking for the gluten development, now is the time to add the fat, which in our case is refined oil. I'll add all the fat all at once. Turn on the safety, and at the lower speed, turn on the machine for fat absorption. Now as you can all see, the dough is all come together. and it is all developed, and the gluten is also developed. And now I will be transferring the dough to a clean, well-oiled bowl for bench fermentation. Now, as you can all see, the dough has been transferred to the well-oiled bowl for further bench fermentation. I will be transferring the bowl to the proving chamber. So my proving chamber is all set at the required humidity level and temperature. Now, till the time our bread is in the proving chamber for bench proving, we'll start off with the savarin dough. Now, what is savarin? Savarin is a yeast leaven cake, okay, which is soaked in sugar syrup. It is a rich dough. The ingredients for the same are: we are having refined flour, eggs, sugar, butter, yeast, some more flour and milk. Except for the butter, now I'll add all the ingredients to the mixing bowl. We start with refined flour. Some sugar. Yeast. Milk. And eggs. These all will be mixed till a proper consistency is achieved. It will more of like within a dough and a batter, not exactly like a batter and not exactly like a dough. And once that consistency is achieved, we'll add butter. Now all the ingredients are in the mixing bowl except for the butter. Now we are using a paddle attachment for this because we are having a liquidy batter-like consistency within the batter and a dough consistency. Okay, so it will all come together and form a consistent dough, and thereafter we'll be adding butter to it. We'll start mixing at a low speed, as you can see. Now, as you can all see, the ingredients have all come together, and I'll be starting to add butter. So huge amount of butter. As I told you, it's a rich dough, yeast leaven cake. And now safety on and the low speed, I'll turn on the mixer. Now as you can see, all the ingredients have been uniformly mixed together, and now I'll be transferring the dough or the savarin batter in the piping bag. Now I'll be showing you the consistency of the savarin dough, how it comes to about like. So as you can have a look in the bowl, it has elasticity but not much of a gluten development as a bread. The savarin dough has been transferred to the piping bag. Now I'll be piping the savarin dough into the savarin molds. So this is the shape of the savarin molds. Please have a look. Hollow from inside. Okay. So I'll be taking a mold, brushing it with oil, taking out excess oil, dusting the mold for extra care with little bit of refined flour, so that after baking the savarin comes out neatly from the dough. So this is how I would be lining each one of these savarin molds. Now the dough will be transferred to the well lined savarin molds. care should be taken not to pipe too much of the dough because they would be fermented, otherwise they will come out of the mold. Now all the severin molds have been piped properly and they will be moved to the proving chamber now for initial fermentation. The bread dough is also coming up with the proving, and we also put the savorin dough for fermentation. Now as you can see, both the doughs have doubled up. This is the savorin dough, it has proved initially. This is the clover leaf dough, this is also proved initially. And I have set my oven till 200 degrees centigrade for the baking of savorins. Till the time it's getting preheated, I'll start with the shaping of my clover leaf rolls. Now this is the clover leaf dough. On a clean surface, I'll dust some flour and I'll invert my dough onto the flat surface. Taking a little flour in my hands, I'll gently knock it back. Also dust a little bit on top of it. We have to be very gentle while handling our doughs. So this is now a degassed dough. Now I will be dividing the dough for the shape of clover leaf. I have taken this mold for the shaping of clover leaf. This is a muffin tray. So as I said, this has 3 different lobes like the clover leaf, and out of this I would be cutting out individual lobes, each weighing 7 to 8 grams, okay, and I would be placing them together in this mold. The oven has preheated. I will put the savorins for baking. Till the time they brown up completely. Seven grams exact. Let me show you how to shape the clover leaf rolls. Thereafter, we shall be continuing the same with the remaining dough. I'll take a surface. So now these are little balls. We just need to roll them tightly in our palm like this, placing them. second one at a little distance. Now the third one over here. At this time, they might be seeming like they are at a distance apart from each other, but after the final fermentation of this shaped dough, they will all join together. Okay, and once they are fermented, we will be doing some filling into it. So now we are finished with the shaping of clover leaf. So as you can all see how they are being placed in the muffin tray. Okay, and now they will be going to the proving chamber for the final fermentation stage. So our proving chamber is ready. And for the final fermentation, they are into the proving chamber. Meanwhile, our savarins were baked. Let me show you. So this is how your savarins should look like after baking. I'll allow them to cool a little bit down, and after that I will be demolding them, and further process will be explained later on. Now this is the standard setup which I have done for the further processing of the savarins. Okay, as you can see over here I have my baked savarins. In the center I have my sugar syrup with equal quantities of sugar and water cooked with some cinnamon bark and some orange peels, okay, to give it an essence. Some people also tend to add a certain liqueur such as rum and all to the syrup for added flavors. That is completely optional. Okay, so let's start. Care has to be taken that if the syrup is at the room temperature, the savarins have to be warm. Okay, only then they will soak the syrup completely. Now they are not hot, but they are warm. So I try to demold the warm savarin out of the mold, and this demolding has to be done very carefully so that the savarin doesn't break. So I twist it a little bit. Yeah. So let me show you how it looks from the inside. So we have a hollow, okay, as the shape suggests us, and now this is warm. Okay, I would be dipping this warm savarin in the sugar syrup. Some time has to be given to the savarin to absorb the syrup completely, so I leave it over there till the time I'll try to demold the other savarin. So very carefully I turn out the savarin out of the mold, and immerse it completely into the syrup. You can see certain bubbles are coming from the syrup. This bubble coming out of the syrup is an indication that the syrup is moving inside the savarin. Okay, so I'll press them, but not too hard, only to allow them to give them sufficient soaking from the inside too. Okay, now see the bubbles are coming. We shouldn't be in hurry to take them out. Okay, otherwise they will be all dry from inside. Okay, now I'll place it on a tray, perforated tray, so that the excess syrup drops into the tray, and similarly I will be doing the others as well. Now the savarin is, as you can see, I have soaked almost all these savarins in the sugar syrup and placed them upside down. Okay, also the remaining syrup I will be spooning on the top. So I'll give them some time to absorb all the syrup properly. Okay. So students, now please have a look at our clover leaf breads. Okay, the dough is fermented, the final shape is fermented completely. As I told you, they will all join together. Okay, now I will be piping the filling in the center of these lobes. Now the filling for the day, you can use any filling, but what I am using is a mixture of mayonnaise and achar. Okay, mixed achar. So that's achari mayonnaise. Just a drop of filling, not much. Excessive filling is not needed in the dinner rolls and in the soup rolls. That is just for a flavor purpose. Here we go. Now my filling is done, the bread is all set. Okay, and now I will be baking them. The oven is preheated to 200 degrees centigrades. So very carefully I would be baking the breads so that they don't deflate. Now we'll move to the plating part of the savarin. So as I said, we'll show you the plating of the savarin. Now this is a sample plating which we have thought okay, to plate our savarins like. So please have a look at the different elements of the dessert. This is a savarin, okay, and in the hole we have inserted some raspberry puree, and on the top of it we have put some pineapple compote. Okay, this is a Florentine cookie. This is a raspberry and blueberry mixed compote, and these are certain dried fruits and a maraschino cherry and a mint sprig for the garnish. So this is a plating which we have decided for the day. Now I'll show you how to plate it. So in the meanwhile, students, our breads also baked through. Please have a look at the breads. They have got a golden brown crust, okay, and an indication that they have been baked. I'll be applying some oil, some olive oil on the top, taking due care that the filling doesn't get affected. Now this oil will give them a shine, okay, and a softer touch as well. See how shiny the breads are. Now these are hot breads. On the hot breads I am applying oil. And also have a look at the shape, like a clover leaf. We are done with the breads. We'll keep them aside. So now, as discussed, we'll move to the final plating of our dessert, which is savarin de fruits, okay, and all the elements are over here, as I already explained to you. We have our purees, the raspberry and the blueberry. A spoon of raspberry puree. Alongside a spoon of blueberry puree. With a nice stroke of brush, I'll very neatly, draw a pattern. I'll take a savarin. To make the savarin more stable, I'll cut through the top of the soaked savarin and place it somewhere in the center. Okay. I take my raspberry puree again. You have to see that whatever I'm using is all fruits. Okay, some berries and some fruits. Okay, because the name suggests it's savarin de fruits, so we have to use most of the elements are fruits. Okay, so I'm piping my raspberry in the hollow. Just a small drop of raspberry puree. Also, we have to see that we are using so many different elements, so we have to use little quantities of each of the elements. Okay, because it should not crowd. I have some pineapple compote with me, which I will be placing onto the raspberry puree. I'll be inserting another leafy element just to give a green color. Which is sprig of mint. Okay. Now what we are doing, we are using fruity elements, and also we are trying to use as many different colors available. Okay. I have a Florentine biscuit with me. This will add to the crunch element to the dessert. Okay. Now as this is a soft dessert, we always have to have a textural difference in the desserts. So this biscuit or any other biscuit which you can use will serve as a crunch element. Okay. So I'll break the biscuit into halves and I'll insert the biscuit into the savarin. I have some neatly diced fruits with me, a combination of papaya and kiwi. Again, not much. And in the end, I'll place for the red color effect a maraschino cherry. Here we come to the final plating as suggested. You can compare the both. Okay. So students, we are finally through with our menu, which is clover leaf rolls and savarin de fruits. So we learned about the various aspects of both of these products. We learned how to prepare the dough. We learned about the fermentation process. We learned about the soaking process. We learned about the shaping process. Okay, and all the intricacies and the plating techniques were also told to you. And I sincerely hope the objective of today's session is achieved by you guys, and you can replicate the same at your homes, at your workplaces, at your institutes. Thank you so much.